What does it truly mean to talk to a woman and completely capture her mind? It doesn't mean acting like a desperate nice guy, throwing compliments around, or begging for attention. It means speaking like a strategist, a man who knows exactly what he's saying and why he's saying it. Most men fail with women because they speak from a place of need. They want attention, they want approval, and they want to be liked. Without even realizing it, they place themselves beneath her with every word they speak, and then they wonder why no one takes them seriously. That ends today. From this moment on, you stop playing the weak game. You break the habit of begging. You learn to speak from power, not need. Because capturing a woman's mind and dominating her thoughts without even touching her is an art, a dangerous skill, and only the men who master this become the men she cannot forget and cannot let go of. The truth is, it was never about your looks, your money, or your degree. The difference between men who get ignored and men who drive women crazy is simple. Some men understand female psychology, and the rest stay confused, frustrated, and invisible. In the next few minutes, I'm going to give you the Machiavellian method to talk to a woman in a way that ignites her desire without asking for anything, dominates her emotions without a single touch, and makes her see you not as someone to ignore, but as someone to obey, crave, and chase. If you freeze up around women, if you feel their interest fading as soon as you start talking, if you keep landing in the friend zone, all of that ends now. And if you stay until the end, I'll give you one lethal technique you can use tonight to trap a woman in your mental game, and she won't even understand why she can't stop thinking about you. Here's the truth about why some men dominate while others get ignored. It's not looks, luck, or money. It's this: men who hold power in conversations are the ones who do not need a woman's approval. Every interaction is an exchange of power, not just words. In the first 5 seconds, a woman isn't really listening to your sentences. She's reading your energy. If you're insecure, she feels it. If you're anxious, she notices it before you even finish your sentence. If you're trying too hard to impress, she knows it. And the moment she senses that you are fighting for her attention, you've already lost. The man who holds the upper hand never begs to be liked. He doesn't try to be funny for approval. He doesn't perform or seek her reaction. He simply speaks his truth, calm, grounded, and unshaken. That presence is magnetic. Most men destroy a woman's desire before it even begins. Not because they're bad men or unattractive, but because they speak from submission. Their words, tone, and energy all send the same desperate message: please like me. Please think I'm interesting. Please don't reject me. Every time a man speaks like that, he gives away his power. He is asking for permission to exist in her world. And here's the brutal reality: if you have to convince a woman to see your value, you've already placed yourself beneath her. A man who is beneath her will never awaken her deepest desire. Desire does not live in comfort. Women do not crave men they can completely control. Sure, a nice guy might earn her gratitude. She might appreciate his effort or even thank him for his attention. But real desire, the kind that keeps her thinking about you late at night, never comes from comfort or pity. It comes from tension, curiosity, and the thrill of unpredictability. A woman's ego is always scanning for one thing: can I control this man emotionally? If the answer is yes, her desire dies instantly. Most men walk into interactions already defeated. They overcompliment her before she has earned it. They agree with everything she says to avoid tension. They laugh nervously at their own jokes, hoping for her approval. And deep down, she feels it. She realizes, he needs me more than I need him. The second she senses that she has full control over your emotions, her attraction shuts off completely. But the man who can speak from power, without seeking approval, becomes the man she thinks about long after the conversation ends. He becomes unforgettable. It's not because a woman is cruel or heartless, but because her instincts are wired this way. Desire cannot survive in a space where she has full control. A woman cannot truly crave a man she completely understands, and she cannot chase a man she already feels she owns. The spark of attraction, the fire of real desire, ignites only when she encounters a man who breaks the pattern, a man who is different from all the rest. This is the man who does not censor his thoughts to win her approval. He doesn't filter his words or twist his personality to fit what he thinks she wants. He moves according to his own logic, not her expectations. He doesn't worship her beauty because he understands that looks alone do not define her worth, or his. This kind of man doesn't need to be rude. He doesn't need to perform arrogance or act like he's better than anyone else. His power comes from something far more magnetic. He simply exists in his own frame. He lives in a reality where her validation is optional, not essential. Her approval is pleasant, but never required. And that energy, calm, unshaken, self-contained, feels like an anomaly in her world. Because in her experience, almost every man she meets follows the same script. They flatter her, chase her, and hand over their power the moment they see her smile. But this man, he is different. He is rare. And because she cannot fully predict him, she cannot stop thinking about him. He becomes the spark that awakens a desire she didn't even know was waiting to be lit. Most men lose the game before they even speak. They walk up to a woman thinking they're about to impress her, but every word they say quietly screams one thing: please like me. And in that single moment, without even realizing it, they hand over all their power. Here's the brutal truth: women don't ignore men because they're cruel or heartless. They ignore men because instinctively, they can feel when a man is talking from need instead of power. And need is repulsive. A man who seeks her attention, who craves her approval, who silently begs to be liked, he's already lost before the first word leaves his mouth. Think about it. Most men approach conversations like beggars. They want validation. They want to be accepted. They want to be chosen. But Machiavelli would tell you this: power is never given to the man who needs it. Power belongs to the man who can take it without asking. And in the world of attraction, the same law applies. If you talk to a woman from a place of desperation, she feels it immediately. She doesn't need to hear your words, she reads your energy like an open book. The nervous laugh, the over-explaining, the overeager compliments, all of it tells her one thing: you are beneath her. And the second she senses that, desire dies. But here's the twist: most men never even realize this is happening. They think they're doing everything right. They think being extra nice, extra polite, and extra funny will win her over. Instead, it buries them deeper in invisibility. Because real desire is not born from comfort or sympathy. It's born from tension, curiosity, and power. If you've ever felt a woman lose interest as soon as you start talking, if you've ever seen that subtle shift in her eyes where she's already looking for the exit, this is why. She's not listening to your words, she's feeling your energy. And if that energy is weak, she cannot and will not crave you. Today, we're flipping the script. I'm going to show you how to talk to any woman in a way that commands her attention and dominates her mind, without begging, without tricks, and without acting like someone you're not. By the end of this video, you'll understand the Machiavellian secret to speaking from power, not need. And once you master it, women won't just hear your words, they'll feel your presence. And that is what makes you unforgettable. Desire is a strange and fragile thing. It doesn't live in comfort. It doesn't grow in predictability. And it dies the moment a woman feels she has full control over a man. A woman cannot truly crave a man she completely understands. She cannot chase a man she already owns. Her instincts don't allow it. This isn't because she's cruel, it's because her psychology is wired to respond to challenge and tension, not surrender and certainty. When she knows exactly what you'll say, how you'll react, and that you'll do anything to please her, her subconscious whispers, "I already have him." There's nothing to desire. Desire awakens the moment she meets a man who feels different. He doesn't filter his words to please her. He moves by his own logic, not her expectations. He is not dazzled by her beauty or desperate for her attention. This doesn't mean he is rude. He doesn't need to be arrogant or cold. He simply exists in his own frame, a reality where her validation is a bonus, not a necessity. And that is rare. Most men hand over their power in seconds. They compliment too fast. They agree with everything she says. They try to fill every silence with nervous laughter. And all of that tells her subconscious, "I can control this man." And the moment she senses that control, her desire for him evaporates. She may like him as a friend. She may appreciate his kindness. But she will never crave him. The man who sparks desire, the man who dominates her mind, is the one who cannot be fully predicted. He is calm, grounded, and self-contained. He does not flinch under her gaze. He does not speak to be liked. He speaks because he has something to say. And because he doesn't hand her the emotional script, she leans in. She studies him. She wonders what he'll do next. That curiosity is the seed of obsession. This is the psychology of desire. It lives in tension, mystery, and challenge. Women do not chase comfort, they chase the man they cannot fully control. The moment she feels she can emotionally own you, she files you away as safe, familiar, and forgettable. But the man who carries himself as an anomaly in her world, unmoved, self-sufficient, and magnetic, plants himself in her thoughts long after the conversation ends. Most men don't even realize that they kill a woman's attraction before it ever has a chance to grow. It happens in the very first moments of a conversation, sometimes with the first sentence they speak. And the tragic part? They think they're doing everything right. They think that over-complimenting her will make her feel special. They think that agreeing with everything she says will make her like them. They think that being overly nice, polite, and available is the secret to winning her heart. In reality, every single one of those behaviors destroys tension and smothers desire. Here's why. When a man speaks from submission, his tone, his words, and his energy all deliver the same silent message: please like me. Please think I'm interesting. Please don't reject me. And a woman feels that. She doesn't have to think about it, her instincts pick it up immediately. In that moment, she knows this man is beneath her frame. He is playing her game, on her terms, asking for permission to exist in her world. And here's the brutal truth: if you have to convince a woman to see your value, you've already lost. A man who over-compliments is announcing his neediness. A man who nervously laughs at his own jokes is begging for approval. A man who tries to avoid any disagreement is silently saying, "I can't risk you disliking me." And all of this crushes attraction, because desire does not live in safety. Women do not crave men they can fully control. They may like the nice guy. They may appreciate his effort. They might even thank him for his attention. But they will not obsess over him, because he gives them nothing to chase, nothing to figure out, and nothing to desire. This is why so many men get stuck in the friend zone without ever understanding why. They think being endlessly nice and agreeable should lead to romance. Instead, it leads to invisibility. The woman's subconscious already knows, he needs me more than I need him. And the second she feels that emotional imbalance, her attraction shuts off like a switch. Machiavelli would call this a power exchange. In every interaction, someone is unconsciously leading and someone is unconsciously following. When a man speaks from need, he surrenders leadership. He gives her the frame, the control, and the power. And the moment she senses she has full emotional control, she may smile politely, but deep down, she has already moved on. This is the silent death of desire. And 99% of men never even realize they've killed it. Machiavelli taught that power belongs to those who need nothing from others. The moment you depend on someone's approval, you have already surrendered control. And this principle is the heart of dominating a woman's mind in conversation. When you talk to a woman, understand this: you are not exchanging words, you are exchanging power. In the first few seconds, before she even processes your sentences, she is reading you. Your posture, your tone, your rhythm, your energy. She is silently asking herself, does this man need me, or does he own his world? If she senses that you are performing for her, trying to entertain her, or speaking just to keep her interested, her subconscious already knows you are beneath her frame. But if you speak like a man who moves according to his own logic, calm, unhurried, deliberate, then she feels something rare. She feels tension. She feels curiosity. She feels the presence of a man who cannot be easily influenced. Machiavelli would call this maintaining your frame. In modern terms, it means living in your own reality and inviting others into it, rather than stepping into theirs. A man who holds his frame never bends his personality for approval. He never explains himself nervously. He never fills silences out of fear. He speaks when he has something to say, and when he speaks, it is enough. This is why confidence cannot be faked. True conversational power comes from the absence of need. A woman can feel it immediately. The man who does not depend on her reaction to feel complete becomes magnetic because he is different. He feels like a challenge, a mystery, a force she cannot automatically control. When you adopt Machiavelli's core principle in conversation, you stop chasing and start leading. Your energy says, I am enough. I do not need you to validate me. But if you are lucky, you can enter my world. This simple shift flips the dynamic completely. Now she is the one leaning forward, curious about you, wondering what you'll do next. And the moment she feels that tension, the moment she realizes she can't fully predict or own you, that's when desire begins to bloom. Now that you understand the psychology of desire and the core principle of power, it's time to turn this into action. This is the Machiavellian method, a step-by-step approach to talk to any woman and quietly dominate her mind, without begging, without tricks, and without losing yourself. Step 1. Observe before you speak. Most men rush into conversation like a sales pitch, trying to win approval immediately. A Machiavellian man does the opposite. He enters the interaction like a king walking into his court, calm, present, and observant. He studies the energy of the room, her mood, her tone, and her body language before saying a word. This slow, measured approach creates an invisible tension. She begins to notice him before he even speaks. Step 2. Speak with purpose. When you open your mouth, every word should come from a place of certainty. Machiavelli would warn against speaking too much, too quickly, or too nervously. A man who talks endlessly is bleeding power. Instead, speak slowly, clearly, and with intention. Say only what you mean, and mean what you say. This makes your words feel heavier, more important, and more attractive. Step 3. Control the emotional pace. Do not overshare. Do not rush to fill silences. The Machiavellian man reveals himself in layers, letting the woman uncover him over time. Silence, when used with confidence, is a weapon. It creates curiosity. If she asks a question, answer with calm certainty, but always leave something unspoken. Mystery is fuel for desire. Step 4. Use push-pull dynamics. Psychological dominance is not about being aggressive or cold, it's about creating tension and release. Give her a moment of attention, then pull back slightly. Engage her in conversation, then let a silence linger with a slight smile. This subtle push and pull makes her invest in the interaction emotionally. She starts working to keep your attention, which flips the power dynamic in your favor. Step 5. End on your terms. Most men cling to conversations, hoping to keep her attention for as long as possible. A Machiavellian man leaves when he chooses, not when she loses interest. Ending the interaction on your own terms sends a powerful signal: I am not here for approval. I am here because I chose to be. And when you leave her wanting more, she will think about you long after you're gone. Follow these 5 steps and you will never again speak like a man begging for validation. Instead, you will speak like a man in control, a man whose presence lingers in her mind long after the conversation ends. This is not about manipulation. It's about stepping into your own frame, holding your power, and letting her feel the difference between you and every other man she meets.